So with Lissa,
Mhm.
what was your main thing that like concern you wanted help with before you signed up?
Before I signed up, I wanted to be able to understand my IBS well enough that I could trust my own decisions about food to have and triggers where I wouldn't end up so surprised all the time that I would eat something that I thought was fine and then I would end up with symptoms. And so that was what I was looking for, a little bit better understanding about why is it that this happens to me and
Okay.
what can I do?
Like, where was it really impacting your life? Was it kind of like weekdays at work, or was it on weekends with friends? Like, where was the main issue for you?
Well, the thing with IBS for me was that it was all a very gradual process, right? So in the beginning, it wasn't all that noticeable. But then, you know, and one of the very valuable things I learned from your company was the whole concept of stacking and how that can really impact you. And so for me, the biggest problem was from my own standpoint was the unpredictability of the symptoms where I would
Mhm.
think I was on the right path and then I would have to cancel an event because I would feel lousy because I had symptoms, because I didn't know when the symptoms were going to go away, because I wasn't sure. And so it was making me really insecure and stressed. I felt like I had a condition that I couldn't control.
Okay, and now, after we've worked together, it's only a shorter time, but still enough time, hopefully, to get you some progress. Like, do you feel you can pick and choose your battles more? Are you kind of aware of what the problems were, or what was your result?
Well, so I still do get symptoms, of course, but now I have a better understanding where I can, look at the situation more critically and say, well, I think it was this, or I think it was because I had I was stacking because I had this food too often in this week. And in terms of socializing with friends, even at this age of coronavirus, and we have these limitations and stuff, what it's allowed me to do is also to plan ahead. So if I know that I'm going to have something important like a celebration, somebody's birthday, whatever it is, where you know that you're going to be off the wagon,
Mm.
you can prepare a few days in advance by being really careful. I can prepare by being really careful what I eat, and taking care of my body so that I can enjoy the party. I can enjoy and say, fine, today it's going to be an off day, and not just the IBS, which is really important, right? For me, I want to stay symptom free as much as I can. I want to. That this was a very important thing for me. Now I feel like I know how to stay symptom free more often than not. And eventually I would like to be symptom free forever.
Yeah,
And so,
living like a normal person, eating with the freedom that you used to.
yeah, and so I do have to put in work. We all do, but now I feel like it is something that it's achievable, that it is possible because rather than stabbing at it, reading this paper, reading this other paper, reading this article, reading this uh, eating plan, and just going, well, I don't know if that's going to work for me. Is how does that address this or that? I have a roadmap, and I have been able to work on it with with a nutritionist, where we have a dialogue, whether we have it by Zoom call, we have it by messenger, by email. There is a back and forth where I can run things by the nutritionist. The nutritionist can give me advice that I take actions, I take steps, and then I see tangible results. And that's very encouraging because then it shows me that I'm on the right track. rather than just trying to do this myself and just reading a bunch of things and stabbing it, feeling like I'm stabbing in the dark.
Mm. Well, let's talk about that. How come this approach worked for you versus trying to do it on your own? Like, what did you like about the approach that we take?
What I like about your approach, your company's approach, is that like I'm one of those people, like I'm an attorney. I like reading. I like information. I like, kind of going that route of I'm going to learn something from this. And so I like that you gave us a lot of information to digest on our own and just kind of learn about this in a more holistic way that is not as easy as just saying, well, this is what I'm going to, this very restrictive diet is what I'm going to follow. Because even though comparatively speaking, for somebody like me, I have IBS, and you help me learn what some of the triggers are, so that A, I can be careful about it, but B, this method also made me think about, well, I do want to be able to eat certain foods because they have a nutritious value, because it is valuable and important to develop a more varied microbiome, right? For health and for all kinds of good reasons. So instead of making me think about, well, I just can't eat garlic, I can't eat onion, I can't eat beans, you took me a step further of, well, maybe today I can't eat this much garlic, but I can add a little bit, follow a process. That process can help me, become, not resistant to it, but to be able to incorporate it into my life, so that eventually I'll be able to eat down the list all these foods normally the way that everybody else does. And so I think that's a mental thing and also a practice thing that is not easy to make that leap, given the current information climate that we live in, where we got all these things on the web and everybody's trying to sell us, take this powder, take this pill, but not explaining why is it that something can trigger a reaction, whereas your method explains to us what is behind the reaction and demystifies somewhat what this mysterious thing called IBS is.
Good, but also, like, this is why I don't like the food intolerance testing and things, because it's just like, okay, Lissa, here's your result. You can't eat this, the end. Bye. And
right.
You're like, forever? That's it?
What do we do with this? Right. It's like, no, I mean, for a while, I was very, very depressed, and I was very, like my social life took a huge hit. And it was affecting my mental health, because I thought, well, I can't go out, because I have become this annoying person that every time my group of friends goes to a restaurant, I'll be looking at a menu and I'll be like, well, I can't eat that. I can't eat that. I can't eat that. I can't eat that. Oh, I guess I can't eat anything, So yeah, it's a difficult thing when you're not educated in nutrition and any of the, sciences. I'm not a STEM person, so I don't know my hydrogen from my whatever.
The last thing I want to ask is, what would you say, Lissa, to someone who was in a similar situation as you, and they're on the fence about joining up? They, maybe they're thinking about doing a $20 plan instead. What would you say to them?
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing, right? It's a very personal decision, right? And people have all kinds of situations in their lives as to what their priorities are at a particular moment. I felt that the group was willing to work with me. I'm somebody who's more of an incrementalist. Like I don't necessarily jump into things all that easily. And so I felt that the group worked with me in terms of where I was mentally, physically, financially, am I ready to like go all in, or I'm ready to go a little bit in? So I felt that they were flexible with me, and sensitive to what I was going through. I think, especially IBS and other gut, type issues that people go through, like health concerns, can be very isolating. And so it can feel for a person that they're completely alone, and that what they have is really strange and hard to explain, and hard for people who don't have it to understand. And so when I started interacting with you, and diet versus disease, I felt that that there was an understanding ear, that that I didn't feel pressure. I felt that I was listened to. I felt that my concerns were attended to. So that helped me open up, and also it helped me give the program a chance to work, and work with the program in a positive way. So even though it's not a person to person program, it's not like I could make an appointment and go see somebody in person. I felt that I was listened to just as well as I would be with a provider that was right here in my town that I could talk to. And I also felt that the responsiveness to my questions and my concerns was there, even though physically we're all in different countries. So I felt that the way that you use technology, that the company uses technology, is very effective in bridging that gap with people, and that you're also very understanding and flexible of the time difference when you're dealing with people in different countries.
Well, I argue that we're even faster than seeing someone in person,
Because
because you don't
right,
have to drive anywhere. You don't have to sit
yeah,
in any waiting room.
yeah.
It's
And,
on.
and now in the age of a global pandemic, you still get your appointments.
Exactly.
Yeah, you guys
I
get
think,
for
but
telemed before telemed was a thing.
yeah, now now people can appreciate it more, but I think it's an important point that I do try to hit home with people. It's like, this has to be convenient for you. When it's like, there's a lot of goals in life, but with your health goal in particular, it's easy for it to be pushed back in the priority list, and we're all guilty of it. And if you're going to go kind of all in like you did, or really commit to it and make it a priority like you did by joining up, make sure if you work with us or whoever you're working with, that it's convenient. It has to be convenient in your life. Otherwise, it's going to quickly get pushed down the pile again. And that's why I think online works best, because it's on your time, from your kitchen, when it suits you, kind of thing. But good. But thank you for those answers. I think it's going to help motivate someone to give it a go.